And that brings us to our conversation this morning, talking about youth development. And I have with me a data scientist and entrepreneur, Mr. Peter Eze, to discuss the issues and concerns that affect the youth and what they're clamoring for. Good morning, Mr. Eze. Thank you for joining us on the program. Let me start by asking you, what is the significance of the National Youth Day to you?
Hello, thank you very much. Good morning. Sorry, I have to do this on the way. So talking about the youth, can you hear me clearly there?
Very well.
All right. So talking about the Nigerian youth, it's clear that a lot has happened over the last couple of weeks. But I want to take it from the perspective of youth leadership, and I want to begin with a popular thing that everybody is aware of. We've heard that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Youth are the leaders of tomorrow. And that statement, I want to take it from two perspectives. Number one is, if we look at that statement, it's like two sides of a coin. The first side to it is that the statement itself, the origin of that statement itself has what I can call a calm effect to it. Now, and the other flip side of that statement, that is also posing a challenge to us as youth. So when we say youth are the leaders of tomorrow, sometimes it emanated from a primitive control structure or system where, people wanted to keep power to themselves and ensure that younger people don't take advantage of getting to the system. That's one part of it, and I can discuss further on it. The other part of it is that every Nigerian youth from the events of the recent needs to begin to look at that narrative from a different perspective, that youth are the leaders of the moment, not tomorrow. Now is the moment. Now is the time, right? I listened very carefully to the interview granted to Rufai, the former minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and he said something about the young people. He said, you know what? Power cannot be given to you. You can't feel entitled to power. You have to come and be in the space and take power. So he was saying, you know what, you can't stay outside the ring and win the wrestling. You have to come inside and play. So I would say the youth are the leaders of tomorrow. Number one, one part of that statement, I don't believe in it, because it's like people trying to keep power to themselves, control, and ensure that you don't come into the space to see what they are doing. They keep telling you tomorrow, because today was the tomorrow you said yesterday, and it's going to be today's tomorrow. So there is really nothing called tomorrow. Tomorrow is this moment. So the Nigerian youth need to rise up to leadership at this moment. That's what Nigeria is calling on every young person to do.
But let's talk about some of the challenges that the youth are facing now. Speaking as a youth yourself, what are some of the key challenges that are hindering the youth from actually rising up to the occasion, just like you mentioned? What are the key challenges that you see coming from the youth and the government's perspective?
All right, thank you very much. Now, to start with, the first challenge is the challenge of education. We do not have access to quality education. Now, it's easy to explain the reason why my state could be termed almost educationally disadvantaged, because they don't have access to a lot of amenities. They don't have a lot of exposure. So I can explain why my village hometown in Okosi or Hozara, Ebonyi State, and I can excuse why the people that may not get quality education. But that's not just there. I know many schools in Surulere, I'm talking about Surulere, Lagos, that students are still sitting on the window frame to take classes. I'm talking about secondary school. I know schools in Lagos State that pupils of primary schools are sitting on the floor. I know a school in Apapa. I'm not talking about KSA. I'm talking about schools that have even gone to sea. A school in Apapa where the roof is leaking. How do you expect the mind frame of a child that was raised in that kind of environment to be? So an average young person in Nigeria feels is already inferior. By graduating in a Nigerian university, you're already inferior, because we know that BSc counts for nothing. In fact, hiring a graduate with BSc is a big risk. Now it has graduated beyond BSc to master's degree holders. They don't have nothing to offer. So you stumble through Nigerian school. You go through a lot. There is nothing, no amenities, no infrastructure. You graduate, but whatever you come up with cannot make you employable. So you have to now go and educate yourself to be relevant in the workplace. That's on one part. As an entrepreneur, as an SME owner, as an SME player in the SME space, there are no supports. I'm sorry, but there are no supports from the government. It's ridiculous, the kind of thing our government put out on the media. So they say they have this survivor fund, survivor intervention fund for SMEs, and most times they call the big figure, 7 something billion. But so how many people are you making those funds available? The highest, the one I opened the link, the highest was about 500,000, and I said to myself, 500,000 to a micro business is a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money. 50,000, 150. But for a lot of SMEs, it's nothing. It's not some money. For some businesses that have not done anything from February or March till August, the debt they've accumulated alone is 3-4 times that money. So if you're giving me a survival fund that cannot bail me out of debt, you're not doing anything to me. So I think some of the things working against us is the fact that we don't have access to quality education as young people. Number two, and because we are not educated, most times we don't know our rights. Number two, the fact that even when you want to hustle and do things to earn money, the infrastructures are not there to support. And then, of course, the most recent one, some officials in government are pushing for censoring or controlling the social media. So they are also trying to steal our voice. So as a young person, you are to be born and to be a young person in Nigeria is to be disadvantaged. That's the way I put it.
Well, just like you're saying now, of course, we've seen many youths today seeking to migrate to other countries because they believe that there's not enough economic opportunities right here. But is that really the solution?
Well, I don't know that it's the solution, but I know that when you push to the wall, the solution is the one that's available to you. That's why sometimes you push to the wall, you punch. Some people, they are pushed to the wall. See, the solution that is embedded in you is what's going to come out. The environment has conditioned us. Let me tell you one thing. I said this to my wife, and I say, it looks to me like a lot of us that are still in Nigeria are in Nigeria because we can't afford to relocate. Now, let's be realistic. Let's be frank. We can't afford it. Because if you want to relocate, whether it's Canada or US or UK or anywhere, you still need some level of balance in your account. Because except you want to do it the legal way. If you want to do it the very legal way, you need money that you can use to survive there for the first 2-3 months before you can get something doing. And 95, 96, if not 97% of young people who relocate to abroad, they are going there to look for jobs. So that's a massive brain drain. So it's not a solution. But when you look at the antecedents of our system, the antecedents of our governmental structure, they don't seem to be a near future possibility that these things can change. We thought it was a change of political power holders. So we moved from PDP to APC. But it's the same thing because it's the same people who are recycling themselves, who are changing their clothing. So the mindset is about get this power and hold it. So there is really no alternative that is looking really very foreseeable.
Mr.
Idea becomes, hey,
Mr. Isaac, Mr. Isaac, the President Buhari, in his speech to the youth on the Youth Day celebration, advised the youth to embrace the hand of meaningful dialogue to chart a way forward for necessary reform. So why not take up this offer? What's the body language of the youth to this offer?
Trust, mistrust. That's the reason why we are skeptical taking up that offer. We don't trust what they are saying. No, the truth is that if Nigerian government tells you 10 things, 8.5 or 9 of them will have hidden clauses. Your president says a lot about the ability of me trusting you. Nigeria, the government has proven not to be trusted. They said many things that it turned out not to be true. They said they're going to give free feeding. Where are those foods? They said they're going to give Hello.
But, they've come
were
up
made
with
available
several
by-
intervention programs for the youth. For instance, the 75 billion naira Nigeria Youth Investment Fund, which already has over 1 million entries, for instance.
Wait, so it's still starting. We don't measure things by proposition. We measure it by achievement. Let us finish and let us see. That 7 billion that I was talking about that's the something I was saying. So the money has been made available. Let's see how they execute it. Execution is the problem. The same way palliatives were start and hoarded by some people, I wish sure this money will not be partly disbursed and a large pool of it will be kept by some people. That has been the reality. So it's a good initiative, but initiatives are not what counts. Accomplishments are the things you are looking at. What have you accomplished in the past? What's your pattern? But we are trusting that this will work. It's a good initiative, and I'm hoping that this works out this time around.
Let's keep hope alive. Data scientist and entrepreneur, Mr. Peter Eze, thank you for sharing some of your time with us.